with negotiation and wisdom. For us, this conflict is so costly and characterized by economic and political marginalization, prolonged war, humanitarian disaster, the loss of millions of lives and untold human suffering. Some countries saying to send peace troops to South Sudan, but South Sudan don't allow it. Our government and adversive groups will share our power together and work together as one with unity. This power sharing method to be unique is not only the two groups will be included, other organizations and parties will be included. The Republic of South Sudan wants to be holder, neighbor countries and Iraq countries, who are always with our peoples together. And South Sudan recommended to be SPLM-IO to be ordered and to agree to make peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. The Delegate of Mali, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and fellow delegates. Without peace, country is going to ruins. The crisis in South Sudan has become a major concern for nations all over the world, but more so for nations in Africa. As the saying goes, African solutions to African problems. So, since Mali is an African nation and has experienced a crisis which is more or less similar, we propose the decentralization of power and the reformation of the national army to be the solution. As it is said, the decentralization of power is different from power sharing because it means the formation of a federal government and not the sharing of power among different parties within the country. So, the crisis in South Sudan occurred because power was centralized. Had power not been centralized, some conflicts could have been maintained before they grew to be so big. The reformation of the national army to become professional and institutional, soldiers from all ethnicities and previous opposition soldiers will also strengthen the sense of nationalism in the nation. I yield my questions.
Those who would like to ask questions? The chair recognizes the Delegate from Macedonia. When we talk about decentralization, should the delegate please rise from their seats? When we talk about should the powers be divided into the ethnic groups?
Not the ethnic groups, but to the regions. There are differences between the ethnic groups and the regions. The ethnic groups are found within the regions, but they are not the regions. Here.
Are there any other delegates that would like to ask questions? The delegate of South Korea, you are recognized.
My question is, who's going to facilitate that? Who's going to facilitate the centralizing government that you're going to form? And if so, it must be neutral. So it must the people also. What kind of criteria are you going to use to decentralize the government?
Okay, so first off, question. I did not say the centralization of power, the decentralization of power, which means the sharing of power. So, and it's by the ones that are holding peaceful negotiations. There are peaceful negotiations are already ongoing in the country. So, peaceful negotiations should include these, is what my country says.
Thank you, Delegate. The delegate of Zimbabwe, the podium is yours. The delegate of Austria, the podium is yours.
According to the United Nations, like refugees, over 200,000 refugees are in the Muslims. And the majority of the population lives under extreme poverty. 75% of the people have no access to medical care, and 70% have no access to clean water. So Austria offers $3.2 million for humanitarian crisis in South Sudan. And the plan will be given to the International Committee of the Request for Food Supply, Water, Emergency Projects, and
Thank you, Delegate. The delegate of Djibouti, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Solution to be power sharing because and it's the power sharing is the only option because Djibouti faced the same conflict after getting independence. After getting independence from France, the conflict was civil war between Afars and Issa's ethnic group. Because of the struggling of power, because of the struggling of power, but it can be solved. It can be solved. It can be solved after the president claimed that he considered proposal of returning to multi political system. Similarly, South Sudan also facing this type of challenge. Obviously, the main cause of the conflict is a political and ethnical issue. So, the UN should use power sharing to solve it.
Thank you, delegates. The delegates of Central African Republic, the podium is yours.
Okay, thanks, Honorable. Based on the South Sudan crisis, Central African Republic afford refuge from South Sudan country. This shows that Central African Republic respects South Sudanese people. According to news, still now many people are immigrating. Many people that students eradicate from educational center. Central African Republic tries to regard the conflict by adjusting a resolution within the topic of military assistance followed by humanitarian aid. Central African Republic don't think that United Nations gives like a solution arm embargo. It's not a solution for South Sudan's crisis because when it's conflict in South Sudanese terrorists will enter to the country, control the war. So we can't avoid them without military, and they cannot see the people in the country. And the fund should consider United Nations countries for military in South Sudan mainly. And then, after we stop the crisis, we can assist humanitarian aid and avoid the crisis completely. But first, we should assist military. Central African Republic and South Sudan are neighboring countries. Based on this relationship, Central African Republic are just a good resolution method of assisting military for the greatest South Sudan. Thanks. I yield time to the delegate of China.
The delegate of China, you may speak.
And that points, arming embargo is the first stupid idea we have seen in this conference because it only states about the illegal part and the legal part of the group, and it doesn't conclude the legal part. So I ask you all of the delegates here to support arming embargo. What are
Thank you, delegate. The delegate of Bangladesh, the podium is yours.
South Sudan is one of the that divide governmental forces. This conflict has come to a sensitive issue because of it is not only governmental forces. It has also contained many rebel groups. Bangladesh believes that this conflict is against 2 million people and it affects in both countries. Bangladesh tried to stop this conflict in high way. Bangladesh believes that this war can be stopped by power sharing followed by humanitarian aid. We choose Bangladesh to this solving the issue in May because if there is power sharing, the government sends the rebel groups begin to cool down and they come to build transitional governments. When they come to the situation because of the humanitarian aid and we can support and help the suffering peoples. In 2005, Bangladesh sent many peacekeepers in South Sudan. Bangladesh believes this conflict come to stop and continue the development of programs. I want them to thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Are there any motions on the floor? The chair recognizes the delegate of Brazil.
Motion to consider.
Your motion has been denied due to the lack of time. Are there any motions on the floor? The chair recognizes the delegate of Iran.
Proceed.
Motion for an caucus for allies and draft of resolution.
Can the delegate please make your starter?
Motion for an moderated caucus for the purpose of drafting a resolution.
Delegates, your question has to do due to the need of the conference for the moderated caucus. Are there any moves on the floor? The chair recognizes the delegate of India. Delegates, your motion has. Are there? The chair recognizes the delegate of China. Proceed.
Focus on the difficult military intervention for 50 minutes, across the limit 2 minutes.
All those who are in favor of the motion? All those who are against? The motion is passed. All those who would like to speak for the motion? All those who would like to speak against the topic? The delegate from Afghanistan, the floor is yours.
The country is Australia and Withdrawal. And after that, humanitarian aid in our humanitarian aid, we can get help. We try to help them to the people for you.
Thank you, delegates. Your time is up. Time for each division has been reduced to 30 seconds due to the lack of time. The delegate of Rwanda, the floor is yours.
The people for that protest that military intervention of the UNA in Constitution, as I mentioned earlier, there is military for conflict in South Sudan, and we can't solve this problem. Military food. It, our aim to be here is to save children and other humans who are dying and who are in an ongoing hungry. So our aim, our position must be.
The delegate of Sudan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. Sudan thinks on the intervention based on the conflict and reached President Salva Kiir and President Machar to discuss on the topic on the country issue. Any different resolutions have been raised, like humanitarian aid. Humanitarian aid can't address the government; it addresses only the individual people who have suffered and fled their homes. And my time is here.
Delegate. The delegate of Nigeria, the floor is yours.
There are examples of Nigeria and international relations and politically separately because there are many methods are there expressing leaders are not in education. By this case, international relations and Nigeria visa learning skills in the way
Thank you, delegate. The delegate from Cambodia, the floor is first.
The idea of the intervention code. By the intervention, you can the other solutions or the other intervention counter that. For example, if you use military intervention, the humanitarian aid in the other solutions counter that. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. The delegate of Belgium, the floor is yours.
Belgium argues the proposal of military intervention. The solution for this crisis is economic and political sanction in order to bring the political leaders on the way to.
Thank you, delegate. The delegate of Angola, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Angola believes that military intervention can be first because Spain is a military contact or military separatists are intervened to the South Sudan. They have a little amount of weapons, so the defense can
The delegate of Central African Republic, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks. Central African Republic believes that for the crisis of South Sudanese, we should assist military assistance and then we can assist human training. Because of that, people are dying, children are irradiated from educational center, and we should give them a weapon to protect themselves from terrorists and other bad behavior person. And after we stop the crisis, we can assist humanitarian aid for the person, and completely we can stop the crisis. Thanks. I yield my time to the delegate of China.
Sorry, delegates, your time is up. The delegate of Algeria, the floor is yours.
Algeria believes that this problem. Algeria believes that our number will use the solution because it may increase the number of the exporting imports of the weapons, but it doesn't make an agreement with the two leaders. And after military machinery and all things are safe, we can do but first we should stop the conflict by using intervention.
Thank you, delegate. The delegate of Chad, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. The Republic of Chad do not support this idea, this resolution, because this resolution cannot solve this problem permanently, and the cause when we solve the problem, we have to more focus on the cause, and the cause is the two groups. So this resolution do not touch the two groups, upset the agenda immediately, which make change immediately. So, which is humanitarian.
Thank you, delegate. The delegate of Iran proposed the unmoderated focus again.
Motion for unmoderated caucus.
Proceed.
Motion for unmoderated caucus of 10 delegates to meet with our allies and draft our resolution.
All those who are in favor of the motion? All those who are against? The motion has passed.
Just 1 second. Please, all your unmoderated caucus is outside.
Yes.
So, you can get this way and that way.
Guys, everyone, what? Guys, everyone, outside.